Jessica Torres had fought hard to build a successful life for herself. As a mother of 4 and a respected businesswoman, she was known for her ambition, resilience, and kindness. But behind closed doors, she was entangled in a bitter divorce battle, one that would ultimately seal her fate. On a quiet afternoon in San Bernardino, she stepped out of a restaurant, unaware that her every move was being watched. Just moments later, a masked gunman emerged from an SUV, sprinting toward her with deadly intent. Jessica tried to flee, running for her life around her luxury Mercedes, but her executioner was relentless. A flurry of gunshots shattered the air, sending Jessica crashing to the pavement as bystanders screamed in horror. At first, investigators believed it was a botched robbery, but nothing had been stolen. Instead, they uncovered a chilling conspiracy, a carefully orchestrated murder-for-hire scheme masterminded by the one person who should have protected her, her estranged husband, Sergio Reveles.
Jessica was a businesswoman in our community. She was well known and well respected by many throughout the community.
Definitely a murder-for-hire case. There is evidence to show that the suspects did stalk our victim for several days and months prior to this murder.
On January 10, 2025, Jessica walked out of a restaurant, holding a cup of coffee, completely unaware that she was being watched. She headed toward her white Mercedes G-Wagon, parked just a short distance away. But before she could reach her vehicle, an SUV came screeching to a halt nearby. The door swung open, and a man, dressed in dark clothing and holding a gun, jumped out. In a moment of sheer terror, Jessica tried to run. She darted around her luxury car, desperate to escape, but the gunman chased her down mercilessly. A bystander witnessed the horrifying scene, yelling for help, but it was too late. The assailant raised his weapon and fired multiple shots, striking Jessica in cold blood. As her body crumpled to the pavement, the gunman sprinted back to the waiting SUV, which sped away in seconds.
This homicide took place on January 10th, 2025 at the Burger Point restaurant at 444 West Mill Street. This brazen attack happened in broad daylight, in full view of patrons and employees who were working at the restaurant.
Please subscribe to our channel and make comments about what you think of our videos. Jessica Torres, a mother, a successful businesswoman, a beloved friend, was dead. At first glance, the killing appeared to be a robbery gone wrong. But something didn't add up. The attacker never stole anything. Not her designer handbag, not her expensive jewelry, and not her high-end vehicle. Detectives quickly realized that this wasn't a random act of violence. It was an execution. And as they dug deeper, they uncovered a story far more sinister than they had imagined.
Our investigators immediately assumed the case and worked tirelessly and quickly developed leads that ultimately identified and led to the apprehension of the suspects who orchestrated this murder.
We had both suspects identified, the shooter, Gerardo Llamas, the driver, Arnold Ruelas, were ID'd as our suspects.
One of betrayal, greed, and a cold-blooded murder-for-hire plot. Jessica had been in the process of divorcing her husband, Sergio Reveles. Their split wasn't just a typical separation. It was bitter, volatile, and filled with resentment. At stake were significant assets, including business ventures and property. Sergio, facing the possibility of losing everything, allegedly made a chilling decision. Investigators discovered that Sergio had allegedly spent over a year planning her murder. He wasn't going to do it himself. He needed others to carry out his deadly plan. He needed a hitman. As police intensified their investigation, they began to connect the dots.
But there was never a general threat to the community, as we learned very quickly that these criminals targeted this victim in a murder-for-hire scheme that was stemming from a contentious divorce from one of the suspects, Sergio Reveles.
Please subscribe to our channel and make comments about what you think of our videos. They identified 5 men involved in the plot. Sergio Reveles, Jessica's estranged husband, believed to be the mastermind. Gerardo Llamas-Torres, 31, the trigger man, responsible for pulling the trigger in the parking lot. Arnaldo and Reynaldo Ruelas, brothers who allegedly helped coordinate the hit. Juan Perez, an accomplice who played a role in carrying out the murder plot. Authorities arrested the suspects in two major operations, one on January 16th and another on February 16th. During the arrests, police seized cash, firearms, and additional evidence tying them to the crime.
And we ended up getting a lead to Mr. Perez and then Mr. Reveles. During those search warrants, there was evidence related to the crime recovered, to include large amounts of money, over $200,000 in cash, and numerous firearms. These subjects were later arrested and booked for the murder of Yesenia Torres.
With overwhelming evidence, all 5 men have been charged with first-degree murder and conspiracy. Due to the special circumstances surrounding the crime, including murder for financial gain, they could face the death penalty. They are being held without bail, awaiting their next court appearance on March 14, 2025. Jessica Torres was more than just a victim. She was a daughter, a mother, a businesswoman, and a friend. She had spent years building her life, overcoming challenges, and looking forward to a brighter future. Her tragic death has left a hole in the San Bernardino community, with friends and family struggling to come to terms with the shocking betrayal. For those who knew her, justice is the only path forward. As the trial looms, one haunting question remains. How could a man who once claimed to love her plot her death so meticulously? The courtroom will soon decide the fate of those accused, but for Jessica's loved ones, nothing will ever bring her back. Please subscribe to our channel and make comments about what you think of our videos.